You know, I think first you have to understand what your values are and what the values are for your board. And so if one of your values is we want to be entrepreneurial, we want to be able to take risk, we want to invest in our growth, which is a choice. You know, you can say we don't want to invest in our growth. We want to invest in our growth, and that's going to mean higher costs of fundraising, higher investment in fundraising. Then you need to recruit board members that you know are aligned with that value system, or work with the existing board members that you have that have maybe never thought any differently about this, to help them see the logic that if we actually want to solve this problem, we need to grow. And with respect to your second question, wait a second, it just went out of my head. What was the second part of it?
As a corporate sponsor, and you're looking at evaluating.
Oh, evaluation. Yeah. Okay. How do we, if we don't use overhead, how do we evaluate organizations? Well, look, this is a slippery slope and dangerous, because I think the problem has not been the overhead measure per se. I think it's been our addiction to simplicity and our desire for one number to rate a charity or one letter grade to rate a charity. And we run the risk of replacing one simplistic measure for another simplistic measure. And you begin to see it now with all of this demand for, well, show me how effective you're being, show me how effective you're being. And we run the risk that nonprofits are going to start to chase the problems that are easiest to show effectiveness metrics on it, because that's where all the money is going to be, and the long-term, more difficult problems are going to go unaddressed. I don't think we should be measuring effectiveness. I don't think we should be measuring impact. I think we should be measuring the intention to be effective, the intention to have an impact. It's a different set of questions and methodologies, and you get at that intention by asking in very methodical ways, what are your goals? What progress are you making toward those goals? How do you know? So for example, you go to the executive director of a nonprofit organization and say, what are your goals? And the executive director says, I don't know. Well, that gives you some big data about whether they have any intention to solve that problem, right? If the executive director says, these are our goals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, great. Now let me go to your executive team and find out if they know that those are the goals of the organization, all right? That's another level of intention. Now let me go down to the line staff and find out if they know that those are the goals. And that gives me some indication that there's real intention here to achieve these goals. Now, what progress are you making toward those goals? I don't care if you are making progress or not. It might be difficult to show progress on these problems. And how do you know? What data do you collect? What is the integrity of the data? How often do you collect it? Do you communicate it to the staff? Do you have data analysts? Do you react on the basis of these things? So I think those are the kinds of questions that we need to be asking, which cost money, right? So I think foundations need to stop asking about effectiveness if they're not willing to invest the money in helping the organizations figure out whether they're being effective, because otherwise you're stealing it from the program. And then the larger issue is, okay, you're starting to ask the right question. By what agency will this information be distributed? And so I have argued that we need an iTunes for charity. We need $300–400 million apparatus that has a Peace Corps-like group of analysts that can go out and actually do this work for every charity in America on an annual basis. We keep chasing the $1 million or the $2 million evaluation solution, and we're going to get what we pay for. You know, you cannot measure $300 billion worth of annual philanthropy in any meaningful way for $1 million or $2 million. It's just not going to happen. So those are my thoughts on that. Thank you, everyone, very, very much.